Wow, what a week on Leading Our Own Way. Welcome back. It's my conversation with Jordan Kilganon. If you don't know who he is the number one pro dunker in the world. But there's far more to Jordan's journey. In this part, we're going to move even deeper into Jordan's personal journey. We talk about living with ADD and how that affected him growing up, especially when it came to focus, social skills, and just feeling comfortable in himself. We also get into the reality of medication, the impact that had on his life, and how Jordan began to navigate his own path away from it as he grew and understood himself more. What I really appreciate about this part of the conversation is how honesty it is, and how Jordan is an elite athlete, yeah, but he's achieved incredible, and yes, he has achieved incredible things. But underneath all of that, it's a deep human story, one of challenge, self-discovery, discipline, and learning how to work with your mind instead of against it. There's a lot in this one, so settle in and enjoy part 2 with Jordan Kilganon. Before we dive in, I want to give a big, massive shout out to our now new proud sponsor, Eshu Skincare, a brand that truly aligns with Leading Our Own Way. This Australian-born company is dedicated to keeping skincare simple, effective, and straightforward. They've made waves in the US, even landed in Macy's and over 300 stores, and now they're back with a renewed focus on healthy skin and real results. If you want authentic skincare that fits your lifestyle, check them out in the show notes. Thanks to Eshu Skincare for supporting real stories and mental fitness on Leading Our Own Way. And if you're interested in sponsoring like Eshu Skincare, drop us a message. We'd love to connect.
But yeah, the weird thing was just like getting put on like medication, like what I was on was like Concerta, stuff like that. And it just makes you more into like a robot. And I got more socially like paranoid and socially just like not as skilled. Even now, like if you were talking to me just now, like I'm a lot more normal right now than I used to be, even like, I don't know, let's say 8 years ago, because I stopped taking it probably about like 7 years ago. And I had to like relearn how, I don't know, how to like get things done, how to build habits, how to do all this stuff, because I was so dependent on it to like get any kind of work done. And without it, I was like screwed. And so I actually had to like work really hard to try to figure out like, okay, how's my brain even learn? How's my brain get anything done? So, and I got into habit building and all that kind of stuff. And that helped a lot. And socially, I had to work on that too, with like just doing small things like learning to talk to the cashiers and like trying to say hi, and then eventually it became more natural. And yeah, and we're in a better spot now. But yeah.
So, I mean, there's obviously a lot of people out there that do use medication, and everyone has a different journey with it completely. And I sympathize and I'm very aware of it. But for you personally, in your personal experience, what was there an impact? Now because you said you've come off it 7 years ago, was there an impact of the medication? Do you see an impact now? Or did you even realize it during the time of it as well?
Yeah, no, I knew there was a huge impact when I was taking it, because it hit me like a truck every time I was taking it. I think I'm just sensitive to like any kind of medication, or even like I take a couple sips of alcohol, I already feel like ooh, like anything like that like hits me aggressively. So, and I was like 6'1", 147 pounds back then. So yeah, it would hit me like a truck, and I wouldn't eat. I couldn't sleep. If just the smell of food and wanting to eat, it just like repulsed me. So it was affecting me in that kind of way. And with
Yeah.
my dunking and stuff like that, but I depended on it to again like get any kind of stuff done. But then if the medication hit me while I was distracted, let's say like playing Candy Crush or something like that, whenever I was young, if it hit me while I was playing Candy Crush, I'm playing Candy Crush for like 6 hours straight. I couldn't get off. I remember being like, I want to get off right now. I have stuff to do, and now I'm stressing because I can't get off, and I have stuff to do, but then I don't want. Anyway, it's like this vicious loop, and then on top of that, again, just like socially, I just felt like it was getting worse and worse, and that wasn't fun. Yeah.
Yeah. Did you see an impact with relationships?
Oh, 100%. Never really thought back about it too much, but yeah, no, definitely. It's quite nice to, I don't know, like just having a conversation with anybody was like stressful. It was very stressful. Like, what am I supposed to say? What am I supposed to do? Yeah, I've developed a skill now. So like, for some small amounts of exposure, like again and again and again and again, to eventually it's now natural. And now I'm like, oh, it's actually fun to be social now. Whoa, crazy.
Yeah, absolutely. Because I mean, deep down, we all want to connect with other humans, right? I mean, I live my life by 4 C's, and the first one is connection. I've always been known for being a talkative person. You know, so for those who don't like to talk, I'm probably not a likable person because I do love to talk. Hence, probably why I do the poddy. And people who want to talk to me actually come on and actually talk to me. But you know, I think deep down, innately, we want to connect with other people, and it's so important. And that was you coming off the medications. Did you have to? You said you had to learn again. What was that like? What was the training? I mean, to be conscious of that in the first place is the first step, isn't it? But then the second step is actually going out there and putting yourself in an uncomfortable situations, I suppose. Even though it's not maybe comfortable to the ones who are social, but to you, you're unlearning, but then learning again, aren't you? If that makes sense.
Yeah.
Talk to us a little bit about that part of the journey, if you can remember.
Yeah. So I guess it was like it's all around habit building pretty much, especially once I got heavy into, reading more books.
Yeah.
And like Atomic Habits, fantastic, so good. That was a big one for me. But I saw how much there was like an overlap with just dunking. Like dunking and trying to make a new dunk is just habit building. Like a lot of times I'm like, okay, I have 8 cues I need to make this dunk. But what you have to do first is like you have to build the first one or two at the same time and do it over and over and over again and forget about the rest. It doesn't even matter the result if I'm even close to the rim or not. I have to make
Yeah.
these two, good enough. And once those are actually a habit, I don't have to think about this so much. Now I work on the next one, then I build on that. And so uh, even if it feels uncomfortable, it feels like weird to do, So that along with those kinds of books that I've read, and then basically just doing like something that's uncomfortable, just like a little bit outside your comfort zone, again and again and again and again. And yeah, I developed this skill of like being able to get good at everything, like just because that's just how it works. Like meditation, sorry, the meditation was a big one too, like learning to meditate, uh, which is again the same thing. All you do is you focus on the breath, and when it leaves, you just, oh, no big deal, it left, and you just like gently bring yourself back.
Yeah.
Oh, and then every time you bring yourself back, some people go like, "Oh, dang it, I wasn't thinking about it." I was off in La La Land. It's like, nope. You're like, "Oh, that's a win. I caught myself." So you have to think about like this thing as a win. Every time you come back is like a win. And so when I understood that, whenever let's say I try to talk to a cashier, and let's say I was awkward, I don't leave and going like, "Oh, dang it, I was awkward. That was stupid. I'm an idiot." No, I go, that was a huge win. That was uncomfortable, and the fact that I was uncomfortable and I still did it, that is a huge win, right? And when you learn that skill, you can literally learn anything, because then you're just
Yeah.
like connecting your like neurological strings basically
Yeah.
from where you are to where you need to go. It's really nice.
Yeah, I mean, I'm doing a talk in Tasmania around that in May,
Mm.
and I know this episode will come out after May, but I'm going actually helping a group of people for a painting company in Tasmania, and we're going to be talking about the synapses connections, what you were talking about there. Just before I get onto that, though, you brought up meditation, and I found it very interesting. I'm going back and forth. My brain's racing right now. But meditation, you're so right. With meditation, a lot of people always say, clear your mind. And when people used to say, clear your mind, I'm like, am I the only person that can't clear my mind? Because I think it's impossible. And I know it's impossible for me. I can't speak to anybody else, but I believe it's impossible to clear your mind so it's empty. I think what meditation is probably more angle, and I don't know who said this, but it was more around, you can't clear your mind. It's more about getting used and comfortable with the things that are coming into your mind. Whether they're good, whether they're negative, it's about being comfortable with the uncomfortable. And as soon as you do that, that's where your synapses connections connect. And when you, and again, with your dunking, with that, it's a scaffolding of the learning, isn't it? You put it into scaffolding sections. And it's like when you're learning a basketball play. Why are we putting these systems into place when the kids or the adults don't have the processes in place first? If they can't pass the ball straight, you can't run a set play. You've got to repeat it over and over again. You've got to make them uncomfortable so they get comfortable with the end result. And it's firing and wiring a neurological pathway. It's get them to repeat it over and over again. When you're learning something new, they're firing and wiring together. And when you do something over and over again, a fatty substance called myelin goes over the neural pathway. So I always say to the kids, imagine the rubber. So if I show you this wire, there's a rubber over the electrical pathway, right? And we have, I don't know, 87 billion of those in our heads once we're fully formed. We're born with about 200 billion, but they'll lower to around 87 when they level out. And the myelination is the rubber. So the fatty substance myelin goes over. And that's, I always explain as a metaphor that the rubber is the myelin. But when you can do something and myelinate it. Now, if I said to you, Jordan, right, I'm going to give you $10 million to forget how to walk, I'm pretty safe with my $10 million. You cannot forget how to walk. Obviously, if you damage the brain in a car accident or something like that, that's obviously different. But it's fascinating. I really get the kids and adults to think about their thinking. And once they do that, they can actually get comfortable with the uncomfortable, which means they can actually do anything they want if they put that mind to it. And I think that's kind of really what you've done your whole life. And when you're learning that new skill, it's one step at a time, repeat, myelinate it, go to the next stage. And it's by the end of it, you've got this beautiful result. That's probably why you've got all these incredible achievements. That's subconsciously maybe what you've been doing the whole time.
100%. And now it's conscious, but yeah.
But now it's conscious, exactly right. Yeah, because we're talking about it. So absolutely it's conscious. But during the journey, and that's the same for me. I didn't know any of that until I started to read about it. And I go, oh, maybe I could do the podcast. Maybe I could make it into the top 5% in the world. Not that figures are important to me, because they're really not. But it's like what you said about the money. To impact on a bigger level, that's what you do need. And that's kind of where I'm in that messy middle, right? Yeah, fascinating. With going back to you though, with your jump program, I remember you saying, because you were writing the jump program at the time, and you wouldn't be able, you were struggling with the medications in terms of writing that jump program. Is that right?
Oh yeah. So, yeah, at the time, anyways, when I was trying to come up with what is Jump Master now, yeah, it was so annoying. I was having such a hard time like getting it done. I just try to take more medication, even more, to try to like force myself to do it. I tried not doing it, and yeah, I don't know, it would just cause me like huge anxiety to even like want to just open up the Google Docs to even start, or if I did start writing a couple of words, just was causing me too much anxiety to even start. And so again, once I learned habit building, my to-do list changed from start writing the jump program to something as simple like, if I just open up the Google Docs, that's a check mark, right? So you're breaking down into smaller steps. So you don't, for like a day like where I need to train, I don't need to write that on a to-do list. Like that's just automatic. I don't even have to think about that, right? Like I might put it on a to-do list, to get like the satisfaction of the check mark. But that's the point of that. It's like something that you really don't like to do. You just break it down into tiny, tiny pieces. And every time you check it off, it says, just open a Google Docs. You don't have to do anything else. You literally don't have to do anything else, but just open up a Google Docs. You did that, you get to check it off. You get the satisfaction, and you're tricking your brain to actually make that a win and to get more comfortable with it, right? And so literally anything, like however big they are in your life, if it feels too big, you just got to break it down until it's small enough and digestible enough. And then you can keep doing that and work your way up to the big things. And I have such an understanding of that now, that like nothing feels scary anymore. Nothing big feels scary. I just got to chomp at it like little bits at a time. And that's way more manageable, right? Now I fully understand, if there's like a giant mountain of food in front of me, let's say I have to finish, how do I start? One spoon at a time. That's it. Yeah, literally just one at a time. And yeah, it's such a like, I don't know, I feel so much more free after like just like feeling that difference. And I went from doing that to now I do all sorts of things that I don't necessarily love to do all the time. And it's a lot easier to get it done. Like now those hard things that used to be hard are freaking so easy now. And some of those things that used to be hard to do and cause me so much grief is actually fun to do sometimes, because once you like keep doing it again and again, sometimes you get good at it and you're like, wait, this is actually kind of fun now, like writing scripts for short form content like I do now, like I used to hate it so much, and now I'm starting to enjoy it. Never know.
Oh, so you write scripts, do you?
Yeah, just scripts for like my short form content. I do like voiceovers where I just talk about like certain dunks that I made or like interesting dunking things. Yeah.
I'm going to add on what I started to incorporate in my habit building, because I think like you, when you're saying it, I do the exact same thing. And one of my guests said to me when you're doing something that might be repetitive, it's essential, but it's boring and you don't get any joy out of it. For example, when I'm uploading my show notes and stuff like that, and I have to repeat it to all the different platforms, because I don't pay another subscriber to do it all. I do it all myself, and I don't pay an editor. I literally do everything myself. So it's very repetitive week on week, right? But I'm like you, just little steps. I've downloaded it. There's one done. Tick. Good. Move on to the next bit. But what one of my guests was, reward yourself. Set a little target. Right, I'm going to get to that point in my process, and then go and get a coffee. I'm going to get a coffee after I've done that. Yeah, I'm going to look forward to that coffee, so I'll get it done. And I actually feel more motivated getting those little habits done. You know, it might not be a coffee. If it's in the morning, it might be a coffee. It won't be at night, because I don't drink coffee after a certain point. But you know where I'm coming from, whether it's go and play a game, or go and shoot some shots, or go and grab the apple and come back and do the next section. Does that make sense? Like, that's where I've been going back to. Yeah, it's with them. So with the ADD then, how did you become aware of that though? Like, or how did your parents become aware? Were you ever told, hey, snap back into it, or whatever? How does that become present in your life?
I just look at my old report cards, and all the teachers like, yeah, it doesn't pay attention in class. Like, they're all saying the same thing, pretty much. Like, I'm in La La Land. I'm in my own world. Like, that's literally what they're writing. So it was like a consistent thing, and I don't know if somebody specifically, like a teacher specifically, brought it up, like to maybe get tested or something. But
Yeah.
but yeah, I don't know. But yeah, they did with what they could. Like, this whole habit building thing. Like, I wish, maybe that was given to more kids, because it's just like, once you understand it, it's so easy. And I learned a lot of it from meditation, to be honest. Like, again, this whole idea of like, you have your focus, you can either have it on this or that, or you put it in like one direction. And anyways, like, just the consistent reps, like, you see like improve like pretty quickly. Anyways, yeah,
I agree.
definitely
I
something I would
struggled
do
with
with my
it
kids in
first.
the future.
Yeah, I think it's great. I think it's great advice, and I think we should be teaching what I'm trying to get into the education systems. I think we need to be teaching kids about the brain. We always say get them thinking about their thinking, but how do they do that? They never show them how. They don't tell them how. They don't go into the neural pathways, what's going on inside their heads, the neurotransmitters, the relationship with the gut and how it impacts the moods and things like that. The impacts of technology now. I mean, you explained it before with your Candy Crush games for hours and hours, and then you reach for something sugary to give you a little bit of pleasure hit to get yourself back into whatever zone you wanted to get into. It's fascinating. Yeah, I think we should be teaching kids about the brain and sleep and movement. I want to say exercise, but people are not moving anymore. I really struggle with that. We spend 85% of our time. Well, I think we used to spend 85% of our time outdoors, and now we're spending 97% of our time indoors. Maybe not you, because you're outside dunking all the time, but generally speaking, the figures are insane. Morning routines, outside of your preparation for your dunking and things like that, we're focusing on a little bit around our mental health and your mental health journey. Do you have a particular routine? You said meditation, but do you do anything else to set yourself up for the day or to help maintain your mental health in general?
For me, it's I basically wake up and I kind of, shower, get ready, but then like I try to like first thing I do is get into getting some kind of work done, like whether it's writing scripts or whatever it is I got to do, like write some training. Um, that's what I try to do right away. And like write my to-do list is the first thing I do as well.
Yeah.
Just because then it kind of sets you up for the rest of the day, because then if I do get distracted, which is gonna happen because it's just me,
And you're
I can at
human.
least, yeah, exactly. My first reaction when I snap out of it, right, it's like a meditation, like, oh, snap out of it, is I go straight to my to-do list, and ideally that's like on a piece of paper, not in your phone, so you can go back and get distracted again. But you go just, you're like, oh snap, to-do list. Oh, what's something like really easy and manageable right now, or maybe I have the energy to hit something big, but like, okay, cool, let's hit it.
Yeah.
So that's a big deal for me. Outside of that, just making sure you're healthy, like, sleep well, eat well, move well, have, good relationships, have meaning and purpose in your life. I know that there's a lot of big things, but all of
Mm.
that will give you all the energy you need to do what you got to do.
How much do you focus on your sleep? Do you prepare your sleep and a lot of kids are going to listen to this as well. So I try and help the kids understand how to prepare their brain for the sleep too. Do you have anything that you have a rule about going to bed? Do you go to bed at a certain time? No devices, whatever it may be.
Yeah, so for me, I can go to bed like whenever I want because again, I don't have a real job, which is great. But yeah, I try not to stay up too late there. But I let myself sleep as long as I want. But I try to be conscious about whenever the sun's going down. I try to start turning off the lights in my place as well too, right? Because then your brain starts to realize, oh, it's nighttime. It's supposed to think it's nighttime,
Yeah.
and yeah, your body will start slowly getting more ready for sleep. Um, yeah, that's oh, and the temperature down as well. Again, nighttime,
Yes.
it gets colder. Great book by Matthew Walker. Just those two things alone can take you pretty far.
Did you say Matthew Walker?
Yeah,
That's the first book I started reading.
amazing.
Why We Sleep,
That's cool.
Matthew Walker. You're absolutely
Yeah,
spot on, yeah. I'd love to
yeah.
have
One of
Matthew
his
Walker.
oh, that'd be huge. I heard his podcast on Joe Rogan a long time ago, and
Yeah.
I was like, wow, that's like an actual life changing podcast. Like that will like to make you realize how just realizing how important it is. Like in hearing
Yeah.
all the data and all the reasons why it's so important. You're like, oh, nature made this happen for a reason. Like, can you imagine like our ancestors? Like you're just knocked out. Like everything is for survival out
Yeah.
there, right? Meanwhile, we're out here just like knocked out cold, just for like 8 hours. That's how important sleep is to make you that vulnerable for like 8 hours. Like you know what I mean? That's how
Yeah.
important it is. That's crazy. So, anyways, and
I
also
don't think it
heart
was
attacks
Matthew
go up
Walker.
or down during times of like when the what's it called daylight time savings. Whenever we lose an hour or gain an hour, heart
Yeah.
attacks go up and then heart attacks go down by like 20% each way, or like 15 to 20% each way for
Oh,
both of them
really?
in the world, in the entire world. Yeah,
Did not know that.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, what somebody said to me once, I can't remember if I heard it or I read it. It wasn't Matthew Walker though, but there's three things innately that we want to do as humans, and this is to show the importance of sleep. But I'm going to debunk that at the moment. The three things we all want to do as humans is defend ourselves, eat, and reproduce. Yet we cannot do those three things when we are sleeping. Yet the brain hasn't evolutionized sleep out of its repertoire.
Yeah,
That's how
exactly.
important sleep is. That's why we
Yes.
actually need, whenever I'm giving not that I'm in a position to give advice, but when I'm talking about physiology and things like that, I was like, I started with sleep. So I always say, just start with sleep. If you set yourself up preparing for sleep, it's not even about waking up, it's about preparing yourself for sleep and then setting yourself up for the day with coming out of it. And, because your cortisol releases in the morning, that's what helps us wake up. But then if your cortisol sticks around all day, that becomes a huge problem, doesn't it, in terms of chronic stress? So we've got to eradicate that. So yeah, I love talking about sleep. It's fascinating.
There's a guy called Paul Sheck. I like a lot of his stuff too. So he has this thing called, and this is kind of how I look at people whenever they're struggling with some stuff. Like I kind of look at these four things right away. So he's got four doctors is what he has. Dr. Diet, Dr. Quiet. So like that's like rest basically. Dr. Movements, and then Dr. Happy. So basically, let's say they're good on Dr. Happy, but not good on like the rest of the three. So like basically the rest, movements, and diet. It's like you have three options, three things to work with here. You know what I mean? You start with one of them, and usually some of the other ones it'll start to bleed over into some of the other ones, right? So those four things alone, like Dr. Happy is a bit more complicated. It's like relationships, like stresses in your life, meaning that kind of stuff. But yeah, just diet, sleep, and movements. Like those are like huge pillars of health in life.
Yeah, they're the three I would go to. But if I was going to put it in order, I'd start with sleep and then they all intertwine, absolutely. But, if you have a bad sleep, that's when you're going to reach for the sugary, sweets, food. That's not going to be good for our mitochondria, for our cellular level health. And that's when our moods get affected. I read a book called, it's just there, The Food Mood Connection. That was fascinating too, and that's the intertwining between the brain, the vagus nerve going straight into the gut and the microbiome. And I noticed when I ate clean, after I started cold plunges, reading the book and I actually started with cold plunges. And that's when I then started to be more motivated and disciplined, building the habit, I probably should say, to eating clean food. And when I noticed all of that and the good sleep, and I was able to exercise more. I wasn't getting the aches and pains. My calves weren't popping because I had 2 years of calf issues playing basketball, that all started to eradicate. I had ankylosing spondylitis in my lower back, which is an inflammation, autoimmune issue. Not that I can cure it, but I reversed the pain. I had 9 years of pain sleeping, and it went because I was doing and putting the right nutrients into the body and filling for deficiencies. And my body was getting worse. Now, the pains come back because I had Christmas and summer holidays here in Australia. You start to eat a bit of rubbish because you're with your kids and you're going to movies. You see where I'm going. Like it's like being hungover after a big night of drinking alcohol back in the day. You know, my body's speaking to me, and I'm now fully aware of what to put in and what not. And if I am putting it into my body, because I'm not demonizing junk food, sometimes we'll have a McDonald's on the way back from a basketball game. We've got a long drive. You know, I might ache the next morning. So I'm fully aware of all of that. Yeah, but cold plunges was huge to me. With everything that you do you ever do cold plunges because of the type of work you do?
Um, so I was doing them like pretty aggressively. I even did like cold shower there for 5 minutes there, but mostly in preparation for some stuff. I mostly now just do it as like a test to make sure I don't negotiate with myself.
Yeah.
Right, so like that's a skill. Your ability to like, I want to do this. Oh, but what about this? But then you start making up with excuses, right? Like the ability to not come up with excuses and to go from decision to action. Like however close you can close that gap, like that negotiating. That's the negotiating is in between there, right? If you can get to the point where it's just like this, where it's just decision, action. And I even have the word act tattooed on me because I want it to be like, boom, sorry, it says act
Oh,
right here.
yeah, nice.
It's in line of sight with my phone. So,
Reminds you to get off your phone.
yeah, literally. So anyway, so yeah, that's pretty much what I use cold plunges for now is to kind of like, if I hesitate to go do a cold, like say I'm walking in and like I have a moment of hesitation, I'm like, nah, I have to come back and do this a couple more times, until it's gone,
Yeah,
until I kill
yeah,
that again. But
yeah.
that's mostly it. So,
Yeah,
because the cold
that's a good
plunges
habit.
for me, I know there's like a lot of benefits too, but I think in like terms of like building more muscle, I think there's been some new research that's like not the best directly after training, at least anyways. Maybe there's more than that now, but so
Yeah.
I'm just like not hitting it too hard now. But yeah,
Yeah, sure. Yeah, I do it in the morning for clarity reasons and cellular benefits. And
yeah, great.
I had torn meniscus from a basketball injury in both knees that I had in the UK before I came back to Australia a few years ago. And I was playing out there and I hurt myself and I lost 9 kilos in 3 weeks and I wasn't exercising. Yeah, I mean, I got rid of stress and I was eating well, so that would have been a part of it. But I lost 9 kilos in 3 weeks. Like, that's insane. Yeah.
Yeah.
So you then, your life purpose though, it's more than just dunking, isn't it? We went quite deep on you wanting to help people as well. You want to be known more than just a dunker, even though that's huge and it's massive, massive part of your passion and life. But you have a deeper purpose, I feel. Just taking a very quick break to thank our sponsor, Eshu Skincare. If you haven't heard of them, Eshu Skincare started right here in Australia, using Australian ingredients to make skincare straightforward and accessible, especially for men who want results without the fuss. Their journey took them all the way to the US, where they were featured in Macy's and over 300 stores. Now they're back with a fresh approach, focusing on healthy skin and authenticity for everyone. I'm proud to have Eshu Skincare as a sponsor on Leading Our Own Way. See the show notes for their website and to see how you can keep your skin healthy and confident. And if you're interested in sponsoring like Eshu Skincare, drop us a message. We'd love to hear from you. Now, right back to the episode.
Yeah, I don't know, it's a weird thing to say like my purpose. Like I don't know. What do I want out of life? Like what do I think is the meaning of life? And to me it's kind of simple. And this is going to be an answer that just seems like kind of gross to some people, but it's really selfish. Just be here to enjoy myself. But like what does that entail? Right? So that's the real question. Because to me at the end of the day, I'm into determinism, right? Now, I don't necessarily believe in free will, which is a whole other conversation, but that's part of the philosophy talks, I guess. But shoot, what was I just saying before that?
About you enjoying life. You said it appears
Yeah, so
selfish, but it's...
Yeah, it's just to enjoy life. So for me, to enjoy life, I'm going to do things selfishly, right? So like, on the selfish side of things, you know, I'm into art, I'm into this, I'm into whatever. I'll fulfill those things for me. But then I also just enjoy making a difference. Like that's just a nice thing to do. Like I like it. I have, if I didn't have that in me, where I'm like, it didn't bring me joy to do this, then I guess I'd be the kind of person that wouldn't do it. So I understand when people don't want to do that, because I'm doing the same thing they are. I'm just enjoying my life the way I want.
Yeah,
Literally, that's it. But it brings me great joy and great meaning when I do that. So uh, yeah, so that will be one of the things I'll be, and I guess that's the way that I lead my life, right? That one of the ways that I lead my own way is to give those things to myself. The things that I want in life, I will make them happen. And I will go out there, I will enjoy my life as much as I possibly can, and I will also try to improve other people's lives if I can, as best I can.
absolutely. We'll dig into that. Well, I know we're coming to the end, but we'll dig into that in a moment. But if you were to die tomorrow, and there was going to be some ghosts of regret around your bed, first of all, would you have any ghosts of regret standing by your bedside? Not to be morbid or anything, but yeah, would you have any ghosts of regret sat by your deathbed?
um, I don't think so. I think I've done a pretty good job, like giving life everything I've got. Like, because again, I've been so scared to have regrets. And people never have regrets of like something they did. They have regrets of things they didn't do. That's just like the common theme. Like that's with old people in their final moments. Like some of them who have regrets. It's that's what it is. It's things that they didn't try, that they didn't do, and I do and try a lot of things. I give it my all because I'm terrified of that. I'm really really scared of that.
Mm.
I don't know. It'd be hard to pick something exact. I'm in a good spot right now.
Yeah, that's good. And do you think more people should be scared of having regrets?
I mean, I guess so. You know,
Is it?
it is like it's a two-way thing, right? There's like there's a fear of not wanting to look back and be like, I wish I could have done more. Then I also like the chase, right? So it's like a two-way thing. It's not like I'm only avoiding fear. That's just part of the equation. But like, whatever gets somebody moving in that direction, I guess. But at the end of the day, if you don't build discipline in something, you're screwed either way. You
Yeah.
have to you have to learn to actually do work. So I do know some people who have that and they have no work ethic. They have big dreams, zero work ethic. I'm like, I'm sorry, you're just screwed. Like I can't, I don't know. It is like because I would love to just say everyone chase your dream, everyone up. Like if you that's why I'm so big on like trying to give people this strategy with starting small and then realizing how like now you can do like the huge things that were scary to you like no problem because it's like a habit now. If you can bestow those things on people, like I feel like hopefully they can get to a point where it's like life just gets so much easier and the hard things are so much easier and you can actually make whatever you want happen. Like those big delusional dreams can become possible, but until then it's not gonna, you can't depend on just motivation alone. You can have a great pull, but if you got zero push with it too, it's not gonna go that long because what's gonna happen when you know life goes to crap and like everything around you is like falling apart. Are you still gonna be able to stick it through? That's push. You're gonna need that push. And if you don't, I'm passing
Yeah,
by you because I'm not stopping. So
that's it. You got to have those tools in place to be able to get through to that push stage as well, though, don't you?
so
And
I
that's
guess that's what I want to give people is those tools, right? If
yeah,
I can, and that's a hard thing to give people because you can't just be like, here you go. It's not a physical thing. Like that's like a thing they have to learn and internalize and like develop on their own. It's like that's so hard to give people.
yeah,
And sometimes they have to unlearn limiting beliefs, unlearn how to be a victim, unlearn like it's like, oh, it's tough to give people. It's not just like here's some money and problem fixed. No, you can't. That's not how that works. Sadly.
yeah. I think more often than not, and not always, because you're evidence of not this being the case, but usually, crisis change often occurs when crisis hits, because when pain of staying the same is greater than the pain of making a change, that's
Hmm.
when that pivotal moment goes, all right, well, it's either death next, or I'm going in the other right. I've got to make a change. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
it's okay, well, Dunking's finished. Dunking's over. Your life is slowing down. Our bodies naturally get older, but you can go for as long as you want because you've got the tools in place through longevity, purposes. How are you gonna? You've already said you want to instill skills in personal development to people, but where do you see your life going after dunking then?
Um, I'll have a better idea at that point. Like I'm still very focused on dunking,
Gym,
and I'm kind
yeah,
of like keeping my eye. So I'm like all in on dunking, but I have like this little side thing whenever I have like spares of time.
yeah,
One, it's like making money now, so I have more options in the future. Because let's say I want like a mentor or something like that, that's going to cost money. You know, like usually like those kinds of guys, not always, but like some guys like they cost money, and it's not just for mentors, but like also it opens up so many other doors. So very much on the
yeah,
money side right now. Very much on like keeping my eye on like what direction, like what is it that I'm gonna want to bestow on people, like lessons that I've learned, what tools am I gonna want to give people.
yeah,
I don't know exactly what that's gonna look like, and I'm okay with that. You know, I know that once I get there, I'm crushing it. Like whatever it is, like I'll figure it out. I'm not worried about that. But I'll
yeah,
be going all in with music. Like I said, that's gonna be fun. That's gonna be a great time. I'll let myself play sports. I'll travel with my girlfriend. You know, when she goes to travel, she's like, "Jory, come with me." I'm like, I can't. But
I've got to go to North Carolina to do some dunking.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Or like when my brothers go travel, you know, again, I can't. So I it's not that I always can't, but you know, if there's no nice basketball courts and stuff like that, or places I can train properly, I'm not going. I'm just
Yeah,
not.
you have to do all that
Um,
research before it.
yeah, 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 for sure. And if there isn't any like decent ones that I can find, then I'm just not gonna go. Pretty
Yeah,
much, yeah. Again, those are still
Just-
things that I sacrifice, you know, because like I can't go that long without training.
yeah.
Yeah.
So what are the impacts? Like how personal life with your girlfriend? Then how do you guys get to see each other a lot? Because every time I look at you, you're flying somewhere. You're always on a plane filming outside, going, Toronto, Florida,
Yeah.
Vegas, wherever. Yeah. How often do you see each other? How does she cope?
I don't know. I think we're both like pretty independent people, like fortunately enough. So, and she wants me to do my dream, so it all works out. I don't know. We have like
Nice.
excellent communication. It's one of these things where like I have never, not that like it's not a competition, but like I'm always like mind blown when I see other people's relationships. I'm like I don't know. Ours is so good. Ours is so good. It's so easy. It's
Yeah.
so I don't know. Our communication is so rock solid, and we're not petty with each other. We've never yelled at each other. We never called each other a name or nothing like that. Like it's been many years and still nothing like that. So um,
Amazing.
yeah,
Love that.
and we're not avoiding things either. Like we will be straight up with each other, but we could just have like a normal conversation. Like it's
Yeah.
not. We don't have to yell at each other. Yeah.
Yeah. Love that. And
Mm.
so do you guys live together? Do you have a
Yeah,
base
yeah.
together? Oh,
Mhm.
nice. Yeah, nice. Love that. Absolutely love it. So, do you think we've missed anything off this episode that we should have dug into?
No, I don't think so. I think we got to a lot of places, so that was nice.
Now, you are the only, I believe, the only dunker in the world to have a bit of a shoe deal.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. I got a sponsorship with Serious Play Only, and yeah, the first pro dunker to ever have a shoe. That was a huge moment, especially because I went to school for what I wanted to do was design basketball shoes for a living, and I
Yeah.
didn't necessarily like design the shoe, but I did help with it with some like little aspects of it, and fortunately, it was actually the best shoe I've ever worn. Otherwise I would have to rep something that's not. But it was so good. They did such a good job.
Oh,
And I
good.
remember the day that I came out to, I was like, eyes are watering. I'm like, oh my god, this is the coolest thing ever. Like childhood dream, like bucket list. I could have went my life without having that, but that was huge. That was a big one.
It's a bonus, isn't it? It's nice. Yeah, and I'll have to thank you live on air, Jordan, for sending me a shoe over. I'll have it on the display when it does arrive. But
Mm.
when it does arrive, by the time this episode's out, it will have arrived, and I'll have done a video opening it up. So I want to say thank you for sending me a shoe. That's very,
Of
very
course.
kind of you. I love it. I should
Gotcha.
have. You probably didn't see the physical shoe that you sent, but somebody said to me, "You should have got it signed." I'm like, "Damn, I didn't get it signed."
Yeah, I mean that would have been a whole different thing to try to do. Yeah,
Yeah. No, I said to them, look, he wouldn't have seen the actual box of shoe that he
No,
sent. So
no. I think it's being sent straight from China. So yeah.
yeah, no, thank you, mate. I really appreciate it, and I'll put it on display. I'll figure out a way to put the big shoe on. I should have got it in my son's size, so it was smaller. I didn't think of that.
I didn't think about that. Yeah, that's funny.
Yeah, no, me neither. But that's all right. Any plans to come to Australia?
Probably not for a while. I do love Australia. I've been out there a couple times, and it's so good. The people are so good there too. But
Yeah.
yeah, nothing planned as of now. But I'm sure I'll end up back there at some point.
I don't know his name, but one of my former players that I was the assistant coach to, I'm sure I can say his name, Derek Tatum McDonald. His dad played pro basketball out here. He does all like the summer jam stuff, and I saw it on Instagram the other day. You're actually following his mate, and I can't think of his name, so I'll have to get back to you on that one. But if you do come over, summer jam or whatever it may be, let's hang out. I'll take you down the Great Ocean Road, show you down some beautiful sights, and maybe go to some NBL games if it's in season as well.
100%. Yeah, no, I did summer jam a couple times. I won both of those both times I went. So yeah.
In Melbourne?
Yeah.
Oh, mate, I want you back
Yeah.
then before you do retire. I want you to get back here. That'll be good.
Yeah, we'll try to make that happen.
Cool. So quickly before I go, we do have some final questions then. If you could give a piece of powerful advice based on your journey, I know we've given gems throughout the episode, but what would be a big, powerful piece of advice to connect with those, for those to take away with them today?
I don't know. It's for me the biggest thing. Like I have so much so that it was my first tattoo was the Act One. Is just the ability to get your habits down, and which is discipline over motivation. Like I remember I had a lot of people ask me like, how do you stay motivated? How do you stay motivated? I'm like, motivation is the dumbest thing. Like, don't get me wrong, motivation is great when it comes, use it, but it's gonna go away. Motivation is very temporary. So if you have your habits and your discipline, so basically like to me discipline is two things. Are your habits locked in, right? So whether that's like you shaped your environment in a certain way, it's just a natural habit for you to like do certain things. And then there's the other side of it, which is willpower, right? Which willpower is basically the distance between wanting to do something and then taking action. So that in between, that's the whole negotiating with yourself thing. If you can get that to disappear, which I use cold plunges to work on that, you go from like, let's say I'm in the shower today and I was cranked it all the way to cold. How quickly would I go from decision to cranking it? And ideally, the second you think it just your hand does it before you can start think about it. That's where you want to get to. You don't go, all right, 1, 2, 3. Like, no, you just boom, done. Like if you can get there every single time, like it's just no problem. That's when you're like, okay, I'm locked in. I can still do this.
Yeah. Agree. And with the cold plunge, because the ground here gets pretty warm in the summer, I step away from the cold plunges because it doesn't give me what I need, because the floor's sitting at 18, 19, and I want it to be around between 8 and 12 is the therapeutic level that I want it at. Not therapeutic, it's probably the wrong word, but the optimal point of where I need it. I do the cold showers, and but if going to the cold plunges, I wouldn't hesitate, but I'd be thinking, but I'd just throw myself in there. That's when I knew I was locked in, as you put it.
Exactly.
But then I step away and maybe don't do them at the weekend because I don't want my body to get used to it either. I want to keep that challenge there and the habit of that challenge to stay in place, if that makes. And then it proves to myself even more. I'm even more locked in than I was before because I've actually stopped it for a couple of days. My body's become comfortable. I want to get comfortable with the uncomfortable again.
I'm
we
about
mentioned
to be tested when I go back home into Canada because, where I'm from, the pipes are freaking freezing, so it's very different than with North Carolina. It feels really cool when I do it and I get the thing like real quick, and I gotta get my breath going slow as quickly as I can. But back home, it's different. It's super cold.
Yeah, what's the temperature in the water, would you say, up in Canada?
Where I am, it's just the lakes are frozen, right? So it's pretty much just like as cold as it gets. So like what we would oftentimes like cut a hole into the ice, and then we go in the ice, and then we do that kind of stuff.
Yeah, cool. Purpose. I this is a question I do ask everybody. I feel like we understand your purpose, but if you could put your purpose into one line, what would it be?
To one line.
Yeah, it doesn't have to be one line if you want to elaborate, but yeah, one powerful line if you can.
there's a lot of sub things underneath this, I guess context things like around this for myself, but it's just to be alive, to be like really alive. Like that doesn't mean not dead. That means to like feel and be
Present.
alive, like that includes like the passions, right? When I say be alive, it feels like I'm like living my passion pretty much, right? I guess living my passion, it would be another one, but yeah.
Yeah. No, I love it. I think with what I've taken away from you today, Jordan, is you are a very present moment type of person. You live it completely in the present. I love the fact, I do love future plans, but I do love the fact that this future plan is just a little area, like a floating in the air. It's there, but you're not too focused on it. You're staying focused on the present goal to keep your life content or happy, or however you perceive that. So yeah, one thing it's constantly come up in my mind when I listen to you is being present, and I love that. And I think the world right now is quite far away from being present, typically speaking.
That's for sure. More distractions than ever.
Yeah.
They definitely get me sometimes, but yeah.
Yeah, and it gets us all. Don't get me wrong. I sometimes find myself, because we're doing content, aren't we, for our passion, my podcast, your stuff. I mean, you've got a lot of following on social media. How do you? I know it felt like I was really coming to a close then, and I am, but it just come up in my mind. You have a lot of following, but yeah, how do you navigate yourself away from all of that?
I don't know. I
'Cause
guess
it's
it's more
huge,
so
isn't
like
it?
where do I put my focus is all, right? Like where's my intention for, like I have things I want to do in a day, and it's not just like for example, when people say, "Oh, this thing's a great time killer," I'm like, "What's this like time killer? Like
Oh
what are
no.
you saying, man? I don't know." Like that means to me that feels like you don't have like a greater goal, a greater like passion or purpose or whatever it is, which is unfortunate. But
Yeah.
yeah, I don't know. There's things I want to do, and again, I get caught up with it. I'm ADD. I get like, I probably have some disgusting hours sometimes on my phone, but for the most part, I'm locked in, and
Love it.
I'm doing what I got to do. I guess I have something that I want to focus on. That's
Yeah.
all. And put my phone away sometimes, I guess, is the easy thing to do. Or if I'm on the couch sometimes and I have my phone and it's being a distraction and I'm on my laptop, I'll just throw my phone somewhere else. So if I want to go get it, I have to get up at least, It's at least not right there.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah.
Good idea. Throw your phones, everyone, on the other sofa on the other side of the house.
If you have
I'm
good aim. I'm an athlete, so I can throw good. So
yeah, that's it. I'm surprised you even saw my message in your inbox all that time ago. It was middle of last year, I think, sometime, but you somehow saw it, so thank you so much.
yeah, of course, this is great.
Jordan, thanks for joining me on Leading Our Own Way. It's been an absolute pleasure, an honour. Keep doing your thing. Keep leading your own way. I love it, and I'm glad we're friends now, mate. It's such a pleasure to have you in my life, so thank you so much.
Thanks for having me on. My friends all said I should be doing more podcasts for people, so there it is.
There it is. I hope we got more personal than your typical interviews. That's really what I was passionate about, sharing of your journey. So thank you for trusting me to get it out to the world. So I appreciate it.
Appreciate you.
To everybody else, if you want to reach out to Jordan, see what he's up to, jump program, the Dunkins, where he's going to take his life, please follow him. I'll put everything in the show notes. Grab his shoe, whatever it is you want to get involved with. Have a look, and yeah, we'll keep in touch. But keep leading your own way. I'm getting myself confused. Keep leading your own way, everybody. Have a great weekend. Come back for another inspiring and amazing journey next week. Have a great week, and yeah, keep leading your own way. Bye for now. Well, that wraps it up for the week with Jordan. What an incredible dude. Man, I appreciate you. Jordan, mate, thank you. Not just for sharing your story so openly and honestly, but also for the incredible shoes that you sent me. They've not arrived yet, but by the time this show comes out, they're on the shelf. They're here. That was such a generous gesture, mate, and I really appreciate it. You're obviously world class at what you do, but more than that, you're a genuine good bloke, and I'm grateful we got to have this chat. I hope everyone listening got something out of this one, whether it was around discipline, purpose, family, habits, or just a reminder to keep chasing what lights you up. Thanks for being here with us on Leading Our Own Way. If this episode spoke to you, share it with someone who needs to hear it. And as always, keep leading your own way. Come back next week for another amazing guest. Take care. Until then, bye for now. Thanks for listening and watching Leading Our Own Way. So we can stay together forever and share more incredible journeys, please subscribe to the channel. That way you won't miss next week's episode and what that amazing guest has to offer to the world. Please support Leading Our Own Way, and we'll get you on next week's episode.